know LA traffic on a Friday is not easy, especially here at the heart of Silver Lake. And I know, just to show where you're coming from, could you shout out what city you're coming from?
LA. Inland Empire.
Paradise.
Inland Empire. Santa Monica.
Inglewood.
Always up to something good, right? We got Sherman Oaks. So thanks again for making the time to come together. And really the purpose of being here is to talk about the things that we normally don't talk about, honestly. This is a topic of heartbreak, you know? And so what you're gonna be seeing in today's program is honest talk or honest spoken word through many modalities, you know, whether it's in poetry, in comedy, in song, or whatnot. We're all here. It's a safe space. It's an honest space, and a space for us to really just let go, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. And it started honestly out of heartbreak. So how many of here can feel me on this? I too have loved and lost, right? Okay. And the story behind it is, I'll tell you a quick love story. I fell in love with my best friend about 10 years ago. And it's one of those relationships where you're just like, you know what the other person's thinking about before they even say it, you know, and you could finish their lines. So that kind of relationship that I had. And God bless anybody here. Who has that relationship right now? All right, that's beautiful. And so that was kind of my story, right? But over the years, as I started, we were together for 7 years. Over time, we just started growing apart. I started taking things for granted. And long story short, you know, he left and I was bitter. I was left with resentment. I was left with a lot of unanswered questions. And I didn't know what to do with myself, honestly. I mean, I was told and given advice to go see a therapist, and I was too proud. I was like, I have a great job, I have a degree, I don't need help, you know what I mean? So I kept it all inside. And over time, that emotion, that resentment started festering. And so I ended up in a 51-50 situation, you know? And at the same time, you know, that was a time where I woke up in a way, because I was never a spiritual person per se, but when you hit rock bottom and you feel like there's really no hope and you're just like, why God? Why? What's the point? You know, like that's when miracles happen. And so for me, I had an intervention, a spiritual intervention. And luckily, I prayed. Because I'll tell you, I wouldn't be here in 2013. I would have been gone if I didn't say something to my higher power. Because the answer I got was call 3 friends. And I didn't tell them that I wanted to hurt myself. I just told them I loved them that morning. It was a Friday morning, and I told them I loved them, and they sensed something was wrong. So 2 out of the 3 of my friends called the cops on me. And my 3rd friend was on the line. And so right when it happened, the cops came right on time. And so miracles do happen. And out of that whole journey, it still wasn't over. I went through the system, and it's a different type of system. You know, institutions, there's different types of systems. I went through the mental health system. And what I found to be super powerful in the space of there's something wrong was, you know what? I don't have to live under the stigma of mental health. I don't have to live under the stigma of being a mentally ill patient. And so what I did was I went traveling. And I started interviewing random strangers about the same thing I was yearning to understand. Have you loved and lost? It's the same question I asked every single stranger on the street. I said, have you loved and lost? And of course, I wore a wedding dress, so I acted silly so they could come up to me and be honest with me. But, you know, the concept was I was in so much pain, I had to do something. Even if it meant doing it alone and doing it out of character, out of my normal day-to-day character. And so what I got out of that experience traveling and interviewing people was the courage to now come home to LA and start interviewing artists like Kiyoshi. Start interviewing artists like DJ Quesco. Start interviewing artists like Kwesi Kaharu and Mel Novak. You know, welcome Mel. And so out of that experience, I found I no longer identify myself as a mentally ill patient, and identify myself as a multimedia producer. And so this is a quick 4-minute video of what happened in part 2. Tonight is to take your pain and transform it into creative expression. And really, that is the heart of what we're doing tonight. And I want to thank all the artists. You know, they're not all here, but this is our first of many down the line where we're gonna include artists that we interview to perform and to engage. And so what we hope is to amplify the community so they can see that if a former teacher with absolutely no experience in multimedia production can do it, that you can also discover your inner artist in whatever you want to pursue.